Another edition of On the Spot. I'm Ryan MacDonald.
I'm Rich Gallop. How's everybody doing? It's 4 o'clock, right?
It is pretty much 4 o'clock. The cool thing here in the studio is we've got a ton of stuff lined up for you.
We have like enough stuff for I'd say like 5 shows, and we're going to give it in one show.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. If you look at the list of stuff, in all honesty, we got Ricardo waiting on deck. We got Bethany on deck. They're going to be showing off A Dog's Life. They're going to be showing off all kinds of fun stuff. We got my man Brad Shoemaker over there. He's playing a little UT 2004. Be able to get a chance to square up against him. I think you got the info for him, right?
I do, and I'm going to give it to you in a little bit because I left it over next to Brad. But it's a 24-person server. You can all get in there and beat up on Brad. He's a little rusty, but he's still a good guy, and you're going to want to play him. It's a lot of fun. And
the cool stuff is we have Dark Watch. We got a little tour from our Sammy Studios visit. Ricardo Torres is going to be also showing up. Literally just came in today. We actually weren't going to slot it in because we didn't think the shipment was going to come in today, but fresh from Japan. We got Paper Mario 2 as well as Gradius 5. So
nice. And we also have some WWE Day of Reckoning developer interview. We're going to have Jeff talk to, I believe it's Kendall Boyd of THQ for that, as well as some DOA Ultimate maybe?
That's right. You know, DOA Ultimate, we've been talking a lot about that here in the last couple weeks. And the cool thing is with DOA Ultimate, we actually got to debut a character. Some of our friends from Tecmo came in this week, showed off that as well as the Ninja Gaiden Hurricane Pack, which if you don't know about that, you got to check that out. We'll have that on the show today. But yeah, Hitomi is in DOA Ultimate, and we got to be the first ones to show it off. So we'll actually show a little bit of the footage of Hitomi if you haven't seen it on the site already. Plus, yeah, so it's a jam-packed show. We got all kinds of fun stuff.
It's pretty much a ridiculously full show, and I just realized I'm 2 for 2 on forgetting to turn off my mic. Oh, well. So yeah, everyone tune in. It's going to be a good time. And right now, why don't we have a little tour with Sammy Studios?
Yeah, let's go ahead and check it out.
Sure.
Hi, welcome to Sammy Studios. I'm going to give you a tour. Sushi bar, cult favorite. So this is Sammy Studios, or Sammy Town, as we sometimes refer to it. As you can see, it is a vast and unique and creative space for a vast and unique and creative company. Each department here at Sammy Studios has their own little complex, well, so to speak, their own little set of buildings. So the green buildings over here is our sales and marketing area. This is our war room. This is where the various technical teams meet every day to discuss every aspect of the game that's under development. Over here, artists and designers labor unceasingly. Here, for instance, we can see several game designers not at work. In addition to one, Mr. Sean Levatino, our technical game designer, who's presently wrangling one of the Dark Watch levels trying to make it fun. You see there are triggers and nav walls and nav paths. Some of our modelers in here making beautiful levels. In fact, here is Devil's Belly Mine. We just saw Sean laying in waypoints and nav walls for this level. This is what the level will look like in the game. Over here, animators. My favorite room at Sammy Studios, the empty room. Had you been here 10 minutes before, there would have been ninjas in here with flamethrowers, machine guns, plotting world conquest, but we got them all hidden before the cameras came through. Oh, nobody here, so we can barge in. Here's Paul Lackey's. The thing I really admire about Paul Lackey is he's just so neat. We call this the half pipe. If you look up here, you've got it sort of looks like a skateboard ramp. Part of the original plan for building the studio was that it reflect aspects of the area, Southern California, where we live. And we have a significant skateboard culture here in Oceanside, just north of us, at Tony Hawk's hometown. So we wanted to make sure that we paid that off too. Here's the Blue Hall. Behold, full motion capture rig here. We can put performers in the ping pong ball suit, make them do all sorts of crazy stuff. J.R. Salazar is our motion capture expert. We bought this equipment from the Matrix films, from Matrix 2 and 3. The Sanctum Sanctorum of Sammy, very secret. You need a special key to get into the vault. We call it the vault because these are the crown jewels. That concludes our tour of Sammy Studios. Thanks for watching.
All right, we're back over here with Brad. Brad, we're playing some UT 2004, and while you wait for the next match to get started, I'm going to give out the information to everyone. The server you want to join, the number is 69.93 69.93, and the password is GameSpot, all lowercase. That's 69.93.60.93. That's a lot of numbers, Brad. You got that?
I can't.
How are you doing so far? I'm noticing that our timing was impeccable and that the match ended right before we came over here.
I am getting worked.
You getting worked?
That's all I can say.
When was the last time you played the game? Let's get that out of the way first and foremost.
I haven't played. I played probably 2 months ago.
2 months ago. So it's kind of fresh. How long until it loads right here? How long are you wait?
Give it 10 seconds.
Give it 10 seconds? All right, so we'll keep talking.
Cool.
All right. What's that? What was the score? Brad came in like fourth, right?
Sure.
It looked like 11 kills and 17 deaths. Is that a good number?
Yeah, I'm sure that's great.
All right, cool. So our next level is deathmatch corrugation. Now, Brad? What's your name so people know who to gun for?
My name. Well, in that case, my name is.
GS Ruds.
My name is Fool with a bunch of O's. No, that's me.
Why Ruds? Is that just it?
It's a long story. It's sort of a Simpsons reference, but
we'll save that for another time.
Yeah,
all right, so everyone, one more time: 69.93.60.93. Password GameSpot, all lowercase. There's room for 23 of you. Come on in, play against Brad. Don't stay out too long. Try to get some other people on there, especially if you're better than Brad. But right now, as part of our little Sammy Studios watch, we got a tease for a big video feature we're running tomorrow on the game Dark Watch. It's a developer interview, and here's a little taste for you.
In Dark Watch, you play Jericho Cross, a half-vampire gunslinger who's working for the Dark Watch, a secret society that fights the forces of evil. You've been bitten by an ancient vampire and infected with the curse of vampirism. Your soul is slipping away. It's a race against time for you to track down that vampire and gun him down and win back a part of your soul. The Dark Watch provides you with secret bases, soldiers, equipment across the West. But as you find out after becoming an agent of the Dark Watch is sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. And this casts you into sort of a morally ambiguous realm that, hey, what do you know? It's an awful lot like a Western, where you are the man alone that's going through this wilderness trying to determine good from bad, light from dark, being the captain of your own destiny for good or for evil.
The game was just going to be a Western. In the Old West, a first-person shooter in the Old West, and the very first sketches that I did actually were very cartoony, very caricaturesque of, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But as time went on, and as we started fleshing out the property more and more, it started becoming more and more mature and edgy, and it turned into the property that you see right now.
Every vampire is different. Every vampire tradition borrows a little bit and makes something up new. That's one of the things that makes it such a rich and exciting genre to work in. Jericho Cross is, we refer to him as a half vampire or as a hybrid. He has vampiric attributes, but he also has human attributes. And these sides of him, the human side and the vampire side, are always fighting for control. And each brings their own set of gifts. And curses as well. So the vampire side gives you lots of cool powers. You have these vision modes, you can jump, you can soak up damage, you can turn invisible. The human side brings your capacity for compassion and for judgment, and to decide if you're going to be a good person or a bad person. Also, because of your human side, you're not as vulnerable to some of the traditional foibles of a vampire. You're not instantly destroyed by sunlight, for instance. In our game, your character can go into sunlight, but while he's in sunlight, he loses his vampire powers. Also, the vampire tradition that we're trying to concentrate on is a high-action tradition. In recent films, you'd look at maybe a Blade, for instance, or the Buffy television show, in terms of the very sort of kinetic, fast-paced, agile vampire, as opposed to sort of a slow-moving, moody, psychological vampire. And then the other thing we tried to do is, we recognize we're doing a first-person shooter. Your character is potent, he's badass, you can go through and blow these guys away. So we had to look more at the action side of the vampire spectrum than the kind of Gothic, atmospheric side.
Joining us right now, of course, is Bethany Mismilla. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Excellent. Thanks for coming on.
Sure,
Appreciate
no
it. You're going to be talking a little bit about a dog's life today, correct?
Yes.
What is a dog's life? I know people on the side have been asking all kinds of questions, and
yeah, it's Dog's Life is a story about this dog named Jake who his best friend, Daisy, dog from down the road, got dog-napped by these two guys, and he's actually going to find his friend along the way, just doing a bunch of doggy stuff, knocking over trash cans, peeing.
Let's go ahead and bring the game up and see if we can take a look at it. All right, here we go. So right now we're looking at the I guess that was the intro. This is the intro to the game?
Yep, this is the intro.
Now this game comes out next week, correct?
I believe so.
Now, this game originally came out in Europe. I know we did a few stories and showed some video on it. It looked kind of crazy. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is it? I mean, what do you think? Is this game going to be? People going to be into it? I know people are asking all kinds of questions.
I mean, the game's really cute. You know, it's fun. It's not, you know, it's not this great blockbuster title, but you know, if you want to run around, be a dog, do all kinds of dog stuff, and get into trouble. And
let's take a look at the kind of trouble you can get into. Skip that intro. I think that intro movie is available on the site anyways right now, right?
Oh, probably is, yeah.
So as you're loading it up here, the one question I have for you is, what kind of things do you? Can you bite people? Can you chase the mailman? Can you do all kinds of typical dog stuff? Or
well, you can't bite people. You don't really do mean stuff. You can bark. You can growl. You can run around. You can pee. You can poop.
Are there actual benefits to doing either of those?
There are actually mini games that you run into other dogs, and you can challenge the dogs. Different stuff. You can challenge them, like digging contests or pee marking contests. When you win those, you kind of get dominance over the other dog, and you can control the other dog. And you want to do that because other dogs can do stuff that you can't.
Right.
So you can go places that you ordinarily wouldn't be able to go.
So you're actually in the game right now.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at that.
I can see. There we go.
And so we're taking a look at this, and you're just running around, free roaming environment. How big is the environment?
You start off in this town. There's pick up this chicken. Here, chicken.
Can you bite the chicken?
You can pick up the chicken in your mouth.
But you can't
You don't kill him. You can pick him up. If I can pick him up. Come on, dude. And shake him and bark at him. There you go. Come here. Gotcha.
And
so you can pick him up, carry him around, toss him.
Are there any owner interaction? Do you have an owner that tells you what to do, or
your owner kind of doesn't show up? But there's lots of people you can interact with. You do tricks for them, and they'll give you treats. And there's a boy up here on a hill. He'll probably give me a nice bone. The other thing that people have asked about the game is smell-o-vision. So I'll show that off. It's a first-person view. You have your little snout, and then you can see these different smells.
Yeah, I think the question came from Mark from Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
What is the deal with smell-o-vision?
The deal with smell-o-vision is there's a bunch of different scents lying around. As you collect scents, you can get to do stuff like those doggy challenges I mentioned earlier. You can track people because you can see their little footprints. Or you can see like that pillar of light over there. That's a human that has a treat actually. So that's
a good thing.
Yeah, you want to collect lots of treats because then you can do more stuff.
Right on. So the build we're looking at is pretty much complete since the game's going to come out next week, right?
Yep.
And what are your initial impressions so far?
It's a fun game. It's not the most graphically stunning game or anything like that. You're not pulling off any bullet time or anything crazy, but run around being a dog. It's cute. It's fun.
Right on. I know a lot of people are interested in it. I'm interested in getting my hands on it and seeing where it goes. But if you have any questions at home, you can go ahead and, of course, send those questions in to here on the spot at GameSpot.com, as well as GameSpot Complete members. You have that field right there on the page itself. We're checking those questions as we go through the show. We got a bunch of them, but right now we're going to check in with my man Rich and Brad to see what's going on with UT.
Thanks, Ryan. Sounds pretty. Dog's Life. I've been waiting for that game for like a year, it seems like. That game's going to be awesome. Speaking of awesome, Brad, that was a pretty awesome death right there. What are you doing? You just had a death match going, and actually you came in 4th out of like 1 million people, which is pretty good.
At the last minute.
5th out of like 2 million people, maybe?
Yeah,
that percentile, like SAT-wise, like you're Harvard right now.
Doing all right.
You're totally Harvard. Now, Now what are you doing? I'm seeing some
more
red
deathmatch.
versus blue here.
They were arguing between maps about what to play, but they just settled on another deathmatch map. So.
But I see a red score and a blue score.
Yes.
So you're doing some team play right now?
Team deathmatch, actually.
What team are you on?
I'm on the blue team.
Ooh, I know it's your team's losing.
Yeah, and we got more people. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, maybe. I think actually that makes perfect sense because you have more people to die.
Sure.
Like if you're just one guy and you're taking on 20, that'd be easy because you just hit one rocket, you take on all of them.
We got a bunch of guys from this DD clan in here.
Oh, there's a clan involved?
I think they brought some ringers in, you know?
Ringer, clans, come on, guys.
This is not fair.
Oh, especially to poor Brad. So once again, if you want in on this game, by the way, the information you're looking for, server. By the way, game's Unreal Tournament 2004, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for the PC. Real good game.
It is.
The server number 69.93.60.93. I'm kind of feeling like a telethon, keep repeating this number. 69.93.60.93. Password GameSpot, all lowercase, GAMESPOT. Right, Brad?
Indeed.
Right, 69.93.60.93. All right, now that everyone's heard it a million times, come on and play. How many people you got in the game right now?
We got.
Let's see, it looks like 8, 15. You got 15, I'm going to say. So there's room for 9 more. Come on in, play. We'll get you on TV. Can you guys tell support? Yeah, sure, I can. 20, what are you guys playing right now? Do you know what the count is?
Hold on. 60, we were playing to 60.
We're playing 60?
Yes.
Well then, it looks like you got a bit of ways to go.
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes.
Yeah. Also, reminder of coming up later in the show, pretty soon we're going to have Ricardo and Ryan talking about all kinds of crazy stuff, like the Hurricane Pack for Ninja Gaiden. You get like cooler weapons and a cooler outfit. It's pretty fun. There's going to be a Day of Reckoning developer interview. That's the wrestling game for the GameCube. We're going to have a hardware piece with hardware editor James Yu, Dead or Alive Ultimate, Paper Mario, Gradius. We got so much stuff coming up. It's like a lot of stuff. Speaking of a lot of stuff, Brad, you guys were just tied. What happened?
Don't ask me. Hey, they're only up by 1.
Turning the tie personally.
Even thanks to me.
Now you're up. How can you tell who's on your team and who isn't?
Colors.
Oh, okay. That guy was kind of yellow, though. His name was Fastest. I don't know why I'm named Fastest on my team. That's cool. Ryan, how you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, we ready to switch back to you?
Yeah, actually, I got my man Ricardo Torres joining me right now. And how you doing, Ricardo?
I'm good.
Excellent. I think we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, don't we?
Yeah, more than we probably thought we did.
Before we get to that, I'm going to actually ask for my man Rich if he can actually come over here for a second.
Sure.
And while you do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the this Final Fantasy clock. Before you go ahead and start talking about this Final Fantasy clock, if we get a close-up shot of this, you got to see this thing. And so the cool thing about this clock is, if you look at it, you can see 2 times. If you get a little closer on that, Jim. So you see the top time, which is the and this thing is actually kind of hard to read here in the studio. So this is the Vanadil time. See this 2016. Down here, 427, of course, which is our current time, is the real world. So check this out. If you're crazy into Final Fantasy, you can get this clock and know what time it is in the game as well as in real life. Just in case, there was any question as to, other real watches. But I think this is the awesomest thing I've ever seen. It's got timer 1, timer 2, timer 3, timer 4. Ricardo Torres, please tell me what this is all about.
Well, let me tell you that you got 4 timers. Each one sort of corresponds to the different places like Sandoria, other republics in the game. It's got the theme.
So it's like the time zones, basically.
Yeah. Well, no, it's got like the individual theme for each of the spots.
Oh.
If you play, you got your theme for all the different worlds and stuff. So you can set the alarm to ring with whatever you want, and like you said, it tells you what time it is in the game, real life, and you got a light. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that thing's totally awesome.
There you go.
Now, is this something that's currently available? Can people just go out and buy it?
It is coming out soon. Oddly enough, it came out in Japan first.
Oh.
And it is coming out here from Hori, and it's probably going to be out real soon in EB.
Right on. How much you think? $19.95, something like that?
Hold on. $44.99.
$44.90. What? I'm sorry. $44.
Yeah, $44.99.
That's some money.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, later in the show, we'll be telling people how to spend some serious money on video cards. You can, like, if you were in a PC gaming, a video card that was top of the line today would cost you $500.
I'm afraid I do, because I'm looking to upgrade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Doom 3 Half-Life 2? Gotta do it, right?
Wow.
So, okay, let's go ahead and get on to our business. Our business, of course, is the Hurricane Pack and all kinds of stuff. So let's go ahead and start with the Hurricane Pack.
Okay. Hurricane Pack is the upcoming download for Ninja Gaiden that is a lot more than just, because like the other downloads that you've seen have been like extra cars or a couple things. Hurricane Pack gives you a lot more. You got new costumes, new enemies, they even adjusted the AI in the game, you got a new camera system. Team Ninja loves you, although some people are afraid of them because they thought the game was really hard. And it's true, Ninja Gaiden is very hard. And what's even scarier is the enemies are even meaner. And if you thought you couldn't make mistakes before, this game is no joke. And as you can see, it's part of the Master Ninja tournament. So the second tournament is going to be starting, and it's going to be, if you really want props, you're going to do really well on these levels and just wow people with the karma score, because the way that Ninja Tournament works is you play through the game, you earn karma, and then when you're done, you upload your score to the server once you've registered.
Now the stuff that we're seeing right here, we here obviously had that staff. That's one of the new weapons, right?
The staff is one of the new weapons. You got new combos and stuff. It is very useful. The really cool thing is when you charge it up to the max, like you're seeing here, the special attack is this really awesome tornado thing that does like a ton of damage. It's not doing a whole ton to this guy because if you've played the original Gaiden, you know that this is the hateful horse boss that a lot of people couldn't get by when they first got the game.
It was pretty tough.
Yeah.
So new costumes, new weapons,
new AI for the enemies, new looking enemies.
And so when's this going to be available?
August.
Straight up Xbox Live, turn on your Xbox and download it?
Yeah.
Boom, any charge?
Nope.
Really? Just totally free for all Ninja Gaiden users. That's awesome. They need more free stuff like that.
Yeah, they do.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Now, before we jump into the rest of the Tecmo magic that we got, let's go ahead and talk about WWE Day of Reckoning.
Okay.
Now, this is something that came up, and a lot of people, all you folks watching at home, had a lot of questions about. We got a ton of stuff in. We pretty much put it to the test to see if we can answer all those questions, and I think we came pretty close. I think there were some that came in after the fact, after we talked with them, but pretty much the guy covers a lot of stuff that you'll be seeing in its entirety later on the site. But right now, we do have an excerpt of the WWE Day of Reckoning developer interview, and we're going to check that out right about now.
Talk about WWE Day of Reckoning. Kendall, why don't you give us kind of a basic rundown on how the game has changed since last year's WWE game?
WWE Day of Reckoning, one of the things that immediately people are going to notice a difference in is the name. This is the first time that it's not a WrestleMania product. We switched the name to incorporate the story mode, and also we ship nowhere near WrestleMania, so we wanted to make sure that just from a marketing perspective that we locked up a WrestleMania game that was around WrestleMania, so hence WWE Day of Reckoning. The story itself is based off of your progression through the ranks of WWE. You get to live the life of a WWE superstar. And this is completely different from the past games because in WrestleMania 18 we didn't have a story mode, and in 19 we had what was called Revenge Mode.
Right.
And Revenge Mode basically took the superstar outside of the ring, kind of almost like a Double Dragon-esque adventure game. And we wanted to get back to the core basics of wrestling. We wanted to get back and do basically almost like an N64 style game that meets a SmackDown type of story. And we wanted to make sure that it was a story that emulated the WWE style of programming with double crosses and all the excitement and attitude that the WWE brings.
Yeah, it sounds like it really kind of goes through a lot of trials and tribulations as you rise through the ranks. You start out like as an independent wrestler, and then you end up like hooking up with one of the factions, right?
Yes. Basically, you're going to start off at square one. You will have graduated from basically the minor leagues of the WWE farm systems, and from there, Vince McMahon's going to give you an opportunity to do some dark matches and some house shows. And while you're progressing through this, you'll also graduate to Velocity and Heat. And at this point, Vince is going to offer you a contract with either Raw or SmackDown. And depending on which program you choose, certain factions will approach you. And when these factions approach you, they're going to, for the most part, they're going to ask you to do some underhanded things. And it's going to really kind of test the wrestler's integrity. But you're going to go along and participate in these things to a point to where you get betrayed, and you have to turn around and go after these factions that had approached you originally. And during the course of this, it's set up very much like an old school N64 game, whereas you'll go through a progression of matches to earn belts, basically.
Cool. So now in this story mode, you're going to be playing as a created wrestler, right?
Yes.
And how deep does the Create a Wrestler go?
One of the things that Ukes is phenomenal with, I really think that they kind of carry the torch in terms of your creative self, or create a superstar, or create a wrestler. There's a lot of fan sites out there dedicated to making all sorts of original creations.
Right.
And Ukes has just got so much depth in the product, and it's translated again into this year's product. You can create basically the volume of your face or your body parts. You can purchase clothes. You can adjust your costumes. You can create your own entrance. You can use the licensed music as your entrance themes. And so when you start the story mode, you can have some default characters to choose from, but we really want the player to create themselves so they can live the experience.
Cool. Now let's talk about the roster a bit. You kind of are basically covering everyone who's kind of involved with WWE programming right now, as of a few months back. And then there's some legend characters in the game as well, right?
Yes, this is going to be the first time in a GameCube product that we have legends. We've got the biggest is Andre the Giant. I think fans are going to really go nuts that he's in this year's product, and it's his first time back in a Nintendo wrestling game since No Mercy.
Nice.
So it's you're going to have some classic confrontations. Now you can have the Big Show versus Andre the Giant, and I think the fans will really appreciate that.
Battle of the Giants.
Yeah, the battle of the big guys. See who wins. And another huge legend that I think fans are really going to appreciate is Bret the Hitman Hart. So now that we have Bret Hart, you can have a rematch of HBK versus Bret, and there's going to be a lot of possibilities as well. And we have Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and we also have Roddy Piper, and several other new legends that we'll be showcasing this year's product.
All right, Kendall, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Hey, all right. Brad, what's going on, buddy? Yeah. So now I'm noticing some vehicles this time around. What's going on?
Oh, there's tons of vehicles.
Tons of vehicles.
I was getting my tank on a few minutes ago.
I saw that, and then you got blowed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the Manta now. It's like the little skiff kind of deal, the little hovercraft.
Okay.
You can basically run over and just.
And you're going around trying to build up some power nodes and stuff?
Yeah.
Are you red or blue?
Smear guys. I'm on the red team right now.
So I'm noticing some blue out there. I'm not seeing too much red.
No comment.
I'm just saying, as a novice when it comes to this game, it looks like you're losing. Okay. All right. Once again, if you want to join up, there's still space. 69.93.60.93. Password GameSpot, all lowercase. Look for GS Brad. That's your name, right?
That is.
GS Brad, help him out. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, I could use it.
Now,
please.
Oh, okay. I'm going to keep going. All right. So right now, the nodes thing, 2-0.
Fix it. Looks like it. I'm trying my best.
69, 93, 60, 93. The poor kid needs your help. Call now. Passwords GameSpot. His team is losing.
Really?
Yeah, he's got like some rocket launcher.
We just got a node.
They got a node.
One node is now belonging to the red team.
Oh.
Or it was.
One out of how many?
5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Great. So now we got a little video piece for you. Yesterday, Ryan sat down with James Yu, our hardware editor, to talk about some graphics cards. So here's a look.
Joining me today is James Yu. Welcome to On the Spot, James.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
That's okay. And why don't you go ahead and tell the people at home what you do here at GameSpot?
I'm basically their new hardware guy. So once we get all the new video cards in, motherboards, whole systems, I'll be the one that'll be looking at it, writing it up, telling you whether or not it's worth buying or not.
As GameSpot's hardware editor, you've got to know basically the ins and outs of all these cards. Mm-hmm. What's going to run my Doom 3 the best, right?
Right.
So tell me, you've brought some of the latest video cards here today. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the cards that you brought?
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, this summer we saw a new generation of video cards from both ATI and NVIDIA. We can start from the top with the most expensive.
So what's the high-end price we're looking at for which card, and what's the low-end price?
Okay, at the high end we have the $500 cards. So the NVIDIA version.
Is that the snazzy one that's own little cooler?
This one's actually made by PNY.
So even way, $100 difference is a big difference. Should would I be willing to pay the $100? I mean, which is the best card for the money?
Best card for money?
I'd put you on the spot.
Put you on the spot.
What was that?
I would say GT. Yeah, the card you're holding right now would be the best card for money. But then I would say with a huge caveat that we still need to wait until we see Doom 3 and until we see Half-Life 2
actually running on these cards.
Yeah, all the next generation games coming out.
There's actually more to that We just wanted to get kind of the important information out there, like the fact that that was the best card for the money. At least that's what he's saying right now. The cool thing is we got some questions coming in. This one comes from Mike in the UK. His question is about our Day of Reckoning stuff. I'm going to just put you on the spot for this one. Will the game be right up to date? An example, the latest wrestlers be in it. Will be an Elimination Chamber match be in it?
They are working on making sure that it's the biggest game that they've got. The only tricky thing is the roster. They have like the core stuff that they want, and they're working on making sure that each one of the wrestling games that THQ does has something that's sort of special for the platform.
Right.
So they haven't quite unveiled the whole roster yet, but there's some good stuff.
Excellent, and we'll have more on that in the near future.
Oh yeah.
Here's another question coming in from Billy. This one comes from Richmond, California. Billy asks, will there be a Fatal Frame 3 coming soon? Another Tecmo game.
Well, it's a well-known franchise, and it's something that Tecmo's really behind. They haven't officially said anything yet, but it's a pretty safe bet. The first two have done well, and more importantly, they've been like critically acclaimed, and people have bought them. So it's usually a good sign that there's going to be a lot more on the horizon.
Excellent. Here's a question from Big Red. Basically, he just missed the part where we were talking earlier about when the update was going to come out. You want to tell the folks at home if you have a rough idea when that update's coming out?
August.
There you go. One more question before we go on to DOA Ultimate. Or I guess I should call it by its full title, Dead or Alive Ultimate. We're going to be talking about Hitomi. Hitomi was a new character. Basically, we were the first ones that got to unveil her, right?
Yep.
And that happened earlier this week when they came by and showed her off?
Yeah.
Now, Hitomi, for those of you who don't know, she's one of the more popular Tecmo characters from the series, right?
She is one of the characters that was introduced in DOA 3. She's gone down real well with a lot of people just because she's got good combos that are easy to kind of pull off. And
this is her fighting on the bridge right here.
This is her fighting on the bridge. It's actually one of the new stages.
Now, is there something extra special about the fact that Hitomi is actually in this one? Because she was in the other one, so.
Well, the whole thing is Dead or Alive Ultimate is actually a compilation of Dead or Alive 1 for the Saturn and Dead or Alive 2. And the thing is, Dead or Alive 2 didn't actually include her in the cast.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, she's brand new. They introduced her in DOA 3. So they did some work.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the neat stuff I was looking at earlier from these clips was like some of the different costumes and the different outfits, and it seems like they've jam-packed a whole bunch of stuff in there.
Tecmo loves their costumes.
Yeah.
You can probably tell it more from the original Dead or Alive, which is also included on the game, because that's when they had a really good time with it. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. There was like bunny rabbit outfits, swimsuits, French-made uniforms. Zack had like a space alien outfit. And they kept it a little bit more, a little more sedate for the later installments, but pick up DOAU and you can see just how crazy the original was.
Right on. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Now, I know we're going to be talking about 2 games we got in today, so it'll be interesting to see how on the spot you can be about Gradius V and Paper Mario 2, which is right here.
Yep.
So we just got these in, and we have, I believe, we got our systems plugged in, so you're going to be demoing these live for us. So if there wasn't enough pressure already that you don't know the games inside and out, but can you go ahead and play them for us?
Sure. Just so everybody knows, on a tiny screen here. So if I get hit by bullets, it's because I couldn't see them.
Let's go ahead and switch over to that footage so we can show the folks at home what we're looking at. Of course, this is our good friend right here, Paper Mario 2 and Gradius V. These came in today, like no joke. These when did these actually come out in Japan?
Out in Japan, technically today, but because of the time difference, a little bit earlier.
Oh, no kidding.
Like midnight tonight or whatever. I get confused. I know they're like 14 hours ahead. Excellent. So, yeah, the cool thing about Gradius for a lot of folks is that
I think Craig's actually got to reset the PS2 for us, so to actually load some Gradius action. Or if he actually pulls that cord real quick, we can take a look at Paper Mario 2 while he's doing that. Excellent. So we should be able to see some Paper Mario. So Paper Mario 2, I know a lot of people are excited about it. They showed some stuff to us, obviously, at E3. We got to see some cool trailers.
Yeah, we got to see some cool trailers. We got to play about 2 or 3 of the levels, depending on, what you did. The levels were actually a sampling of the game, because you'll notice, like, on the cover art and stuff, there are a bunch of different characters. And some of which are going to be in your party, some of which are fighting, some of which are, just there for atmosphere. But the E3 build was just like you were able to try different parts of the whole game and sort of see how the different party members were going to work. because the system is a lot, like the system that was used in Paper Mario on the N64.
Gotcha.
Which is kind of a really cool, but very simple RPG system that kind of has you partying up with like one other person, and everybody's got their own unique skills and their own unique abilities, and like it's kind of a challenge to figure out who you want to take with you, because some characters are like better suited for certain challenges than others. It's pretty cool. We haven't definitely gotten very deep into it because language barrier, time, because it just came in today, so we're a couple hours into it. It is pretty dope.
Excellent, and that's Paper Mario 2 that we're looking at right now.
Yes.
And that is an awesome screen in Japanese that says basically insert your memory card or...
Actually, we're looking at Gradius.
Oh, okay. I can't actually read Japanese at all, so don't take my word for it.
That's okay, we understand.
Yeah, but you can read a little Japanese, huh? That's how you're able to get through some of these imports, right?
Enough to get by.
Enough to get by. Now you pride yourself on the fact that you learned the Japanese through RPGs and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, that's how loud nerds pick up their Japanese.
Now you were telling me earlier that Gradius 5 has a pretty cool 3-minute intro, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's something we won't want to get up on the site because these no joke, these games just came in, so this is actually the first time that I've actually got to see this too. That's how instantaneous we're trying to bring it to you, folks. So for those that don't remember the Gradius series at home, a little bit of history. And speaking of history, one of the things you get inside the case is actually a little history book about the Vic Viper, which is the ship itself, right?
Yep. Just because, Konami loves you, they put together just kind of a little history booklet that shows sort of like the evolution of the Vic Viper.
This is nice.
They even got blueprints, so if you save them in about 1,000 years, we'll be able to make our own, which is kind of dope.
And this is the booklet here, and it shows all the different series of the Vic Viper throughout the games. Huh?
Yep.
Now Gradius 5 is pretty much a side scroller, just like the old ones, or?
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and skip past this intro and see about seeing some gameplay. That's the folks at home were writing in over the week, and they were basically saying, let's have you guys on the screen and more games. So that's what we're trying to give it to them.
That's what we're working on.
Speaking of questions, if you have any questions while we're loading up Gradius 5, go ahead and send them in to onthespot@gamespot.com, or go ahead, if you're a GameSpot Complete member, use the form right there below the video window. And let's see if we can't see some action with Gradius 5.
Now, one thing to note about Gradius, which makes it extra dope, is the fact that Konami worked with Treasure on this.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you are a special geek, you have much love for Treasure.
They got a Game Boy Advance game coming out pretty quick here, don't they? Or no, didn't they get working on that?
Yep, they're working on Guardian Heroes.
Oh, really?
But let me have a look here. So, pretty much like all the good old Gradius games, you got your 4 different weapon configs. I'm going to go with this one.
Okay.
Because it's got the cool rotating extras.
Now, I've been playing some Final, some R-Type Final, not too long ago. That game's pretty hard too.
Yeah.
Is this crazy hard like that?
This is up there. It's kind of, it's special in its own way. I mean, mainly because honestly, dude, games have gotten so much easier now, and we're getting so rusty. Plus, we're getting old. It's just kind of funny because I just remember how back in the day we would have been fine. We could have plowed through this and just not sweated it. But I'm telling you, these days, it's really rare to find a shooter that's this hard.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, obviously it doesn't look that hard right now.
Ikaruga was pretty hard.
Yeah, Ikaruga's crazy. See, I just died.
But the cool thing is it lets you keep going from there. I mean, R-Type, it was you died, you were done.
Yeah.
We got a question in about Gradius 5 while you're playing.
Yeah.
This comes from Sam from Glendale, California. He wants to know, is it 2 players?
Yeah.
2 players simultaneous?
Yeah.
Really?
Which is sort of a first. And very nice. Because, well, it's, mixed blessing. Because I'm telling you, this game gets really busy. There's a ton of stuff on the screen, and the extra person would probably just get in your way. Especially the way we play.
Now, you have no idea about the depth of this game yet. I mean, we just got it in today, so.
I mean, it'll be meaty. It's I would say, at least from the stuff I've seen, from talking to Konami and whatnot, this is definitely, like, this is a Gradius game. So, you're going to have a lot of crazy levels. You're going to have just a lot of insanity. And a lot of bullets, because also, thanks to the magic of Treasure, who loves bullets, you're going to find yourself in a lot of situations where, like, you need to be really careful about where you're placed. See? Because I just got killed.
All right. Before we move on to Paper Mario, let's take 2 questions that just came in from. This one comes from Nick Mendez in Seattle, Washington.
Sure.
Do you believe the market for side-scrolling shooters is growing, bringing a revival to the genre, or is it all about nostalgia?
Dude, I wish, but no. I think that really, just because so many of the hardware manufacturers are big on touting like the 3D nature of their games, it gets a lot harder to sort of like sell a 2D game, even when it looks like this dope.
Right.
But at the end of the day, people care about 3D games.
This one comes from Sean, and this place is called Patnode. I'm not sure what that is, but he might have missed it. He wants to know what Gradius 5 is for. Is it exclusively PlayStation 2?
Yep.
Excellent.
Exclusively PlayStation 2 and coming soon to the US.
Any idea, like a little closer idea of when?
This fall.
This fall. Right on. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get our Paper Mario 2 up and running.
Awesome.
And take a look at that, because I know a lot of people are anxious to that. And I know my man, Rich Gallop, is looking to catch a plane here pretty quick. So he's going to be running around doing some business for us and shooting all kinds of more good stuff that we'll have next week. Now, speaking of next week, and actually later in this week, Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Saturday, we got some big stuff coming on the site. You want to go ahead and tell the people about what's happening on Saturday here?
Well, everybody's been asking for GTA San Andreas stuff, even us. We got the beginnings of some really cool stuff for you. The game comes out this October, so beginning this Saturday, like about once a week, we're going to be bringing you something. We don't want to give too much away, but we have just a little appetizer for you. Just to kick things off on the coverage, we'll have definitely this little piece go up on Saturday, and we're looking to have a preview for it up sometime next week.
Right on. Excellent. Now I hear our little GameCube music chirping in the background.
That's right.
So that means our good friend Paper Mario is loading. Now you were also telling me a little bit about the intro for this game. You were saying it was like 10, 15 minutes long or something crazy?
Well, it's like any RPG. Like, the developers have to assume that you've never actually played an RPG before. So it's all about the tutorials. Plus,
It's
you
Mario.
have
How can you go wrong with Mario? Now this version just came out. From what you've seen so far, if people are into the importing, is this something they can import and play through, or is it pretty heavy on the Japanese?
It's heavy on the Japanese, but at the same time, I mean, if you played RPGs, it's like look at this. I mean, okay, just enter your name.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you don't speak Japanese. Just put in some characters, and you're good to go.
Right on. Now you were a big fan of the original game, right?
Oh, dude, I've been loving the Mario RPGs since Super Nintendo.
Yeah, there was just something about it. I just couldn't. Me and Mario, we're all about jumping. We're not about talking to people. So you've seen this already, right?
Yeah. So here's the setup, and basically, obviously, this is Mario's house. And he got Luigi going out and check the mail for him. And because Luigi's not really big action hero, so he's good at getting mail though.
It's like, go get my mail, Luigi.
So he's going ahead and he's bringing Mario a letter.
Now, so from the stuff that you've seen so far, how does it compare in terms of visuals? Is the GameCube able to push out those 2D sprites a little bit better? I mean, is it look sharper than the old one?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a lot of really interesting things with the graphics. There's a ton of special effects. And there's just really clever things, in terms of the presentation. Like, they've really kind of pushed ahead with the kind of paper and 2D thing. Because Mario can fold himself up into a paper airplane now. The characters deform. When they're going down like warp pipes and stuff, like they spin around, they fold up like paper. The GameCube hardwares let them be a lot more creative and go a lot farther with the whole concept of, okay, you're kind of in a storybook. One of the things that you're going to encounter in the game is this area where there's no bridge and you hit a button and the bridge kind of appears, but like, in other Mario games where it would just be like, it would unfold. This thing looks like the pages of one of those flip books. So the pages keep turning and the bridge slowly builds.
That's cool.
It's really neat, yeah.
So this stuff that we're seeing on the screen right now is basically just loading?
This is kind of setting up, that was the name of the first chapter. This is kind of where you are. This is Mario kind of, because, he fell asleep. It's a long road.
Right.
You know, he took a boat to go hang out with Princess Peach, and he's kind of up, and he's checking out where they're going. It's this new town.
While this is playing, I have a question that came in. This comes from Blyson from Illinois.
Sure.
He wants to know, is Paper Mario 2 going to be the last Mario game out to hit the GameCube, since the DS is coming out and all? Just a question floating around in my mind.
Well, that's a question that floats around on many people's minds. We don't know. There is some stuff that could still come out for it. Some stuff that has been rumored, Nintendo's kind of talked about. It'll be interesting to see like where they go, because it's kind of funny that everybody's talking about their next round of hardware, and we're sort of still. And here we are in town, by the way.
And this is a good example of people still using the current hardware and doing cool stuff with it, right?
Yeah, and by the way, here's your save point.
Oh, the little box you jump up and hit?
Yeah. But the interesting thing is everybody's already talking about the next generation of hardware, which is kind of a rough thing, because you've got games that are coming out like this that are really dope.
Right.
Clearly a lot of thought went into it. It's really fun, and again, people are just doing interesting things with gameplay and presentation. Not necessarily, like, this isn't pushing 20 billion polygons, but what they're doing with what they've got is really interesting, and it looks neat, and it's engaging, and they're able to actually let it do, kind of let them expand the gameplay, like that bridge thing I told you about.
Right.
Yeah.
So when are people going to be able to see this in the States? In
the States, it's coming out this fall. I want to say October.
Excellent. We got one more question we're going to take before we go ahead and check in one last time with our good friend Rich Gallop and Brad Shoemaker. That question comes from Nick Mendez. With the Wind Waker graphical style unfortunately biting the dust, does Paper Mario 2 feature the same amount of artistic style? I guess we kind of covered that a little bit. It's kind of similar to the last one, but they are able to do some neat new stuff.
It's a definitely different style because it's not quite cel-shaded.
One more, and this comes from Rakshas from Toronto. The question is, does Paper Mario have any cool connectivity to the GBA? Features like most other Nintendo games?
We saw an option. We didn't get far enough in to see exactly what that is, but there was a GBA icon there, so we're gonna mess around with it tonight.
Excellent. All right, and so people can expect to see more on this on the site today.
So we got some movies and impressions going up today. We got a full-fledged preview next week, and a whole ton of movies coming up.
Excellent. Anything else you want to shout out to the people before we sign off for today?
This is all good stuff, people. Save up your money because it's going to be a crazy fall.
And now, let's go ahead and kick it back over to our good friend Rich Gallop and Brad Shoemaker, and you guys go ahead and close out the show today, okay?
Sweet, I can do that. That was perfect timing because right now
we
we've
just
got
got
the
closed
same
out.
4 words we've seen all day on this computer. You've lost the match. Brad, you guys are doing good that time. What happened? Doing well?
I don't know, man. Their offense was too strong. We're playing Onslaught again.
So are these teams picked randomly, or are people taking sides? What's going on
let's
here?
see what Clan DD is doing here.
Oh, they're all on the same side.
Yeah,
aren't
what
they?
a coincidence.
So
They're
these
all
are the
on
guys
the winning
that
team.
all get together and play the game. So they're a
Probably.
well-trained unit, and
I think so.
you got to respect that.
I've seen some people using voice communication. I think they've actually got some squad tactics going on.
If you learn anything, from my new favorite movie, Miracle, it's that it's not a good team of individuals; it's a good team that wins. And unfortunately, you might have had some good individuals you lost. But it was another great show. I'd like to thank Ricardo, Bethany for coming by. Brad, you got another question, Ryan, or? Oh, okay, yeah, send in some questions on the spot at GameSpot.com. Let us know what you want to see. This was a huge show. I missed a flight. Craig, Dave, Tyler, Jim, great job with the crew. Did I miss anything? I think that's about it. So until next week, keep tuning in. Keep sending those emails on the spot at GameSpot.com. Thanks, Brad. Thanks to everyone who played against Brad. And we'll see you next week and on the spot.